1826 saw the opening of a new canal that extended from Ebridge up to Antlingham Mill in the north. The canal itself navigated through 6 locks, and sailing wherries served the mills and the villages along the route of the canal, carrying mostly agricultural products as well as materials for the Antlingham bone mills. However, by the late 19th century, the railways had started to affect trade on the waterways. Ultimately, this would lead to the demise of the canal, and in 1934 the last wherry made its way along the canal itself. The canal then fell into disrepair, and it wasn't until the North Walsham and Dilham Canal Trust began restoring certain sections of the canal that it came to life again. This isn't just a story of certain sections of the canal, this is also a story of a lost railway line, linked intrinsically to the canal itself, and both overtaken by the coming of roads. Lock building had become so sophisticated that by 1825 it only took 100 navvies from Bedford to build the canal and complete it within 2 years. When it opened, the expectation was it was going to carry coal. However, that never materialised. It was mainly corn flour, timber and foodstuffs such as cabbages that were carried on the canal itself. It was subsequently sold lock, stock and barrel in 1886 to a local miller called Edward Press of Bacton Wood, and in 1893 the canal was abandoned above Swayfield Lock. In 1906 the canal itself was auctioned off to General Estates Limited, and in turn local Ebridge millers E.G. Cubitt and G. Walker bought the canal and set up North Walsham Canal Company. In 1927 they dredged from Wayford Bridge to Bacton Wood and then dewatered the canal above Swayfield. However, one of the businesses that had grown had been the tourist traffic, which had started with overcovered wherries as early as 1886. In 1923, 6 wherries carried 2,300 tonnes of corn, animal feed, fertilisers and oak bullet for treating kippers at Great Yarmouth. By 1931, only 1 wherry, Ella, remained, carrying just 1,600 tonnes of cargo in 83 trips. In 1934, the motor wherry Ella sailed from Bacton Wood Staithe with a load of barley for the last time, and from then on the canal lay mainly dormant. The arrival of the railway had definitely been a contributory factor, and the waterway itself became choked with vegetation. Many stretches became completely dry, and the infrastructure of locks and bridges were crumbling. By 2001, volunteers from the East Anglian Waterways Association launched campaigns to get regular work parties to start rejuvenating and bringing back certain areas of the waterway for public use. This led to the formation of the North Walsham and Dilham Canal Trust in 2008. Today, just one restored section brings a little bit of tranquility, and it's here that I decided to get my canoe into the water and just enjoy a little bit of the Norfolk sunshine. Bacton Wood Lock underwent a substantial refurbishment and is now in a serviceable condition. The plan was always to re-water the canal above Bacton Lock, but this plan has never come to fruition and sadly has been met with some objection. Not just this plan, but also re-dredging the existing part of the canal. We do hope that this happens one day and that the canal is restored for future generations to use and enjoy. Just as the technology of the rail had caught up and taken business away from the canals, time would also catch up on rail too. And this is evident as just below Ebridge, the canal and the rail meet. The Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway line between Melton Constable and Great Yarmouth serves as a reminder of the holiday makers that used to pack into carriages and go for the day at the coast. The station of Honning stood between North Walsham town and Stalham, and now stands derelict, although the East Signal Box now stands at the Barton House Railway Museum. Today, the remains of the station have been looked after by a group of volunteers, and it's very spooky and at the same time quite serene to see the point where the canal and the railway once met.